Top Shelf Nation? Glad to be back with you guys again this week. We're a few episodes into Top Shelf Talk now. Hopefully I'm starting to paint a picture of the things that I believe are some of the greatest drivers in our industry. Today I really want to attack one of the ones that probably has been some of our least favorite in the past, but given our current climate and our current situation with COVID-19 out, I'm beginning to notice a shift in what's become some of the most important drivers for our guests and really what people are starting to care about. Today we're going to talk about cleanliness, appearance, and managing the perception of the bar. Now more than ever, I'm beginning to notice that people care more about cleanliness than they ever had before. It's top of mind and it's the first thought that's coming through most people's heads when they're going out to public places. And not just to eat, but this is when they go anywhere for recreation or even when they're going to work. I'm noticing one of the most frequently asked questions is how often is this getting clean? Now more than ever, I believe cleanliness carries just as much weight with our customers and is up on a pedestal with food service and food quality and speed of service. It's important to our customers now. It's on the top of mind and everybody's focused on this when they go out. Now when I say cleaning, I'm not just talking about a quick wipe down of the bar top. And most people are thinking about general cleaning, but when I'm talking about cleaning, I'm thinking of three different buckets that our cleaning can go in. There's the appearance of our bar being clean, there's the actual cleanliness of our bar being clean, and there's the aesthetics of our bar. Now these three different types of cleaning are going to have three different impacts with our customer base, and that's why I wanted to break this down and talk a little bit more about it today. The first type of cleaning I want to talk about is the appearance and the perception of our bar, and more importantly, managing the perception of our bar. The best way that I can describe this kind of cleaning is this is picking up versus actual cleaning. Appearance and perception is that first impression look that we really need to nail. So it's important that we're keeping up on the appearance throughout our shifts every single day. Now the appearance and perception of being clean is generally maintained by quick cleaning throughout our shift every single day. Some of the most important things we can do to manage appearance and perception is to stay organized throughout your shift, decluttered, and wiped down. Now this isn't just talking about the bar top itself, but this is also talking about the things the guests can see from sitting in their seat. Really, we want to make sure we're watching the storage areas that are behind the bar that might sit a little bit lower and not consider the bar top itself, but anything that the guests can see really needs to be given attention throughout the shift. Now, it's inevitable that we're going to get busy throughout these shifts and not have the time to give it the cleaning that we want to give it. We're going to get backed up on glasses sometimes. We're going to be pulling out things and supplies that we need to while we're stocking or prepping throughout the shift. But one of the most important things that we can do is try to hide our mess as best as we can. Now, this doesn't mean hide it for the entire shift. This just means hide it long enough until we have the opportunity to go back and clean it. Now, the next type of cleaning I want to talk about is cleaning. Now, contrary to the first impression look we talked about before, this type of cleaning is going to be something the guests notice after they've been sitting at the bar for a while and they've had time to start looking around at different things. The best way to describe this type of cleaning is this is real deep cleaning, not just picking up and wiping things down real quick. This is more detail-oriented cleaning that I'm talking about. Now typically, this type of cleaning is going to be done at the end of the shift or at the end of the day when we're ready to close down. Sometimes we need to schedule some extra time outside of operating hours when there's no guest in the bar to really get in there and do some extra deep cleaning. Some of that type of cleaning includes cleaning our floor drains, cleaning the drains in our ice baths, and also cleaning the drains from our draft towers as well. Those are three main areas in the bar that can really start to build up odors, and you being in the bar as much as you are, you might not notice it, but some of the guests that come in much less frequently than you do will notice it, especially if they're sitting closer to those areas. Now another thing you're going to want to find the time to do is to pressure wash or scrub underneath all the equipment and shelving that's mounted in place in the bar as well. A lot of times throughout our shifts, you'll notice that the floors get wet and they stay wet throughout the day as well. If we're not drying those at the end of every day, they'll start building mold and mildew up on those tiles. And if you don't clean them and scrub them or pressure wash them, they'll start to smell too. And if you haven't done it before, have you ever seen some of the stuff that starts to build up back there? It's nasty. One of the best practices you can implement is to develop a schedule where some of this real deep cleaning can get done regularly. Now the last thing I want to talk about is aesthetics. I'm fascinated with how much this part of cleaning is overlooked because this is really the part that separates the clean feeling bars from the ones that really feel like scuzzy dive bars. Have you ever been to one of those stores or been out shopping where you walk in the store and it just feels dirty, feels nasty, and you almost feel like you need to take a shower afterwards? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. One of the best things you can do here is to watch the storage areas behind the bar, make sure they're clean and organized, and don't overstock anything. Now, one of the things I really like to work on is the grocery store effect. And this is making sure all your bottle labels are facing out forward, and any holes that you have in the stock shelves or where the bottle displays are, make sure that you're pulling those forward so against the shelf it's nice and flat in the front. This makes things more visually appealing to the guest as they're just glancing or when they're sitting at the bar looking around. I'm sure you've noticed the same thing in the grocery store aisle too, where groceries are normally pulled up to the edge of the shelf. They're not sitting all the way back. There's no holes in the shelves where products should be either. Another thing you'll want to look at is to make sure all your pour spouts are facing in the same direction. Doesn't matter which direction, as long as they're all facing the same direction. Now, this is something you probably won't notice too much when they are all facing the same direction, but it'll really start to look messy when they're not. If you have a bunch of tops that start pointing in different directions, things just look a little bit messier than they should. By keeping them all facing the same direction, it gives it more of an illusion that things are nicer and tighter. Another thing to watch in the bar is to make sure that all your lights are working at all times. It doesn't look very good when you start having dim areas in the bar and it's super bright in other corners of the bar. You want to make sure you have nice uniform lighting throughout the bar and make sure all the light bulbs are the same level of brightness. You don't want any flickering bulbs. You absolutely should not have any flickering bulbs. Now, this might sound pretty basic too, but make sure your TV quality, the visual quality, and the sound quality for either your TVs or your music sounds good and looks good at all times. If it's not, that's something that should be fixed immediately. And lastly, make sure if you have any computers or telephones or TVs or anything at all electronic behind the bar, make sure there's adequate cable management where the cables really should not be visible by the guest at all. There's nothing worse than looking at a computer and it looks like a pile of spaghetti that's all tangled up mess in the back too. Not to mention it makes it that much harder to clean at the end of the day as well. So why is cleaning important? Given our current climate with COVID-19, guests want to know now more than ever that we're taking cleaning and sanitation seriously. It's not enough to just be doing the cleaning anymore, but now we need to be cleaning publicly. We want to visibly be cleaning frequently to show off to our guests how much we care about cleaning and sanitation. Now we need to be thinking of cleaning as not just a chore that we do throughout the shift and at the end of the shift, but we need to think of it as a public relations act that we do throughout the shift as well. We want as many eyes watching us doing our cleaning and our wiping down our sanitation as possible. It's important that our guests see us cleaning and sanitizing frequently because guests are talking about this. This is a common thing that people talk about now when they go out is, how clean was this place? Or did you see them wiping down door handles and were they wiping down these surfaces? These are things that people think about when they're going out in public now, and it's on their minds when they're going out. So we show them we care by visibly cleaning down the surfaces that we know they're going to be touching and going to be touching frequently. So the last tip that I can give you to think about is you can never wipe down your surfaces too much, especially those high traffic areas that are touched frequently, not just by you, but also by your guests too. It's going to be very impactful to our guests now if they see a bartender come out from behind the bar to go wipe down a stool that was just being used. Remember, this is a game of managing perception. So show your customers and your guests that you care about cleaning and sanitation at your bar. So I hope you got some great information out of today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on our other social media accounts as well. Thanks for joining us on today's episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, Top Shelf Nation.